Hello.
Hi, welcome to our first ever episode of Real Talk with Ducky and ThomaHawk. We are your hosts, Ducky Blue
ThomaHawk UK over here. Yeah, hello.
and we're going to talk about the following things, so stay tuned.
Yes. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk basically like an origin story, I guess, of both myself, and Ducky for this one. But also, it's kind of talking about what's kind of got us into streaming, where we've come from, our backgrounds, our upbringing, kind of what kind of influenced us to be where we are now, and also dealing with anything as we've been going along in terms of the time that we have been streaming, and as well what we want to get out of it. It's interesting to find out because I think me and Ducky do have very different approaches, I guess, but a similar goal in a sense, but very different approaches to it. So it's going to be very interesting to find out. So I don't know whether you want to start or should I start on this one.
Well, I think, Tom, you can definitely start, and
Right.
I will lead
Okay.
out, if that's cool.
All right. Okay. So if there's anybody who doesn't know, basically my name's ThomaHawk UK. I'm actually called Thomas. I'm from the northeast of the UK, in a small town just outside of Newcastle. So yeah, and I'm 30 years old, and yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. Um, do you want to introduce yourself now, Ducky?
Cool. It's nice to meet you, Tom.
Yeah. Likewise.
I am Ducky Blue. My name is Tamlin Lee. That's like the official on my ID document. And I am a South African streamer based in Cape Town, the mother city. Um, I I am 25-ish, basically
Ish.
26 in the ish. Basically 26 in a few months, but let's not tell anyone.
Okay.
Everyone
Okay.
must still believe I'm 21 because the older I get, the more I have a bigger identity crisis. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, identity crisis. Oh god.
But yeah, people call me Ducky Blue because I have the word duck in my surname, and
Mhm.
I have blue hair. It's also my favorite color. So yes,
Oh.
very true to the aesthetic of Ducky Blue.
Mm. Cool. Cool.
And that's me.
That's you. That's you. Fantastic. Nice to meet you. Okay. So yeah. So where do I start? So I guess we'll start with the fact the discussing how we kind of got into streaming, I guess.
Yes.
Now for myself, growing up, I've always been into my PCs. I've always been into kind of building PCs and computer hardware and stuff like that. But I've never been one for gaming hardcore or anything like that. I've never been one to sit for hours and hours, grinding a game, growing up. But I always found it fun. I always found it a way to escape. I mean, I would play all sorts of things like Theme Park World or Sims or but most of the time I would be playing a lot of racing games as well. So the likes of Gran Turismo, Forza, that kind of thing. I mean, it just goes to show. Yeah, it just goes to show how old I actually am. That I was around when the first Gran Turismo came out, which is a scary thought. Yeah, that was
When was that?
1993 or 1994. 1994.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wait, now how old were you in like 1994 though?
3.
So, but that doesn't count. That
What do you
doesn't
mean?
count.
I played...
Like you were barely existing when the game came out. Like barely existing. Like you could barely talk or like pee properly in the toilet.
I was playing on the PlayStation at 3. Yeah.
At 3, you were playing on the PlayStation.
Yeah. So
what?
Yeah, so I've always been a PlayStation fan. Always had PlayStations throughout my life. Yeah. So yeah. This could be the next debate. Is PlayStation versus Xbox.
That's why I was like, okay.
Yeah. So
let's not tell certain people that you're a PlayStation.
Oh yeah. It's console, I guess. But also as well, obviously I've had my own PCs as well. So PC gaming has been a side of it. But like I say, I was never into it very hardcore. And it would just be there just to pass the time. But I will say
Playing
that
games at 3 years old is pretty hardcore.
yeah, well, it was just as well. My brother liked to play games a lot as well. So it was kind of me and him, to be honest, doing it together. So
That makes sense.
yeah, that's kind of where I got it from.
And you steal the controller from your older brother.
Kind of, I suppose, in
Yes.
a way, yeah. But no, as I was growing up, like I say, I mean, I've been kind of falling in and out of gaming. It's kind of sometimes I would really sort of fixate on it, and then other times I've just not been bothered. And you know, I've always had these ebbs and flows up and down throughout the years. And I did own an Xbox 360 at one point. I will want to point out. I did buy.
Okay, so Xbox just was not good enough for you.
I bought an Xbox 360 Super Elite, which was for Forza Motorsport 3, and that was in 2009. So yeah, I have a very rare console in my possession, and still has the original controller, the original game to go with it, everything. And I'm actually thinking about just resetting it to factory to how it was when I got it, and not updating it, just so that it's legit original, and just leaving it that way. So
I mean, you could always just like do that and then sell it in a few years' time.
Exactly.
Like as
I've still,
like in a limited
in fact, in here, I still have the box for it as well. So it's like it's the full kit and caboodle, the whole lot.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress. So yeah, over the years, obviously, I've gone through several different consoles and playing PC alongside of that, building my own PCs, that kind of thing. And then, sort of, as I started kind of getting to maybe the last couple of years or so, especially since obviously Twitch became a big thing, and obviously with lockdowns and stuff, I got a lot more interested in streaming and streamers and stuff like that. But it was always about the community, always about the sort of the person that you're watching, and the character that they are, rather than what games they play. The games that they play was just like an added bonus to sort of say, okay, it grabs an audience that's interested in that game, yes, and they have a mutual understanding, and they can enjoy the game together just by watching this person. But at the end of the day, that's just a byproduct of you joining a stream because you like the person, you know? And that's really what captivated me, because I thought, maybe I could do that, because I was just thinking, I'm not one for talking to a camera. I feel a bit weird being in front of the camera. I still do, to be honest. It's very, very strange.
Everyone's like, what are you doing? You're in the wrong business.
Yeah. But like, no, it's just very odd to talk to a camera. But I got very much, I will sort of touch on this a little bit, influenced by Saikuno. I don't know if you've ever seen Saikuno before, but I feel that I've kind of used his path of what he's doing, and he's doing very, very well at the moment. In fact, just this week he has joined YouTube instead of Twitch, so he's moved from Twitch to YouTube. And that's a big deal, big deal. And you know, he's doing very, very well for himself. He started out from very humble beginnings, where he just literally just wanted to stream just for fun, and it was a case of meeting people from all over the world, you know, building a community that way. And he's just kind of just gone and blown up, obviously because everyone's watching, especially during the lockdowns and stuff. There was not really other outlets for you to get entertainment, because everything was shut down in terms of productions or something like that, whereas streamers can just sit in their own homes and can create entertainment from that. So I was like, oh, that's really cool, I could maybe try that. And then, to be honest, to kind of, if you fast forward a little bit to where I kind of started and maybe thought about starting, and I'd try here and there to do various things, it was then when I actually met yourself, where you kind of just went, you could do it, you can just go for it. And I think it was kind of that time of like September, October, November, that kind of period, where it was like, yeah, this is kind of fun. Yeah, I can get used to this, and I've just kept going since then, really. And that kind of brings me to where I am now. I guess.
I mean,
And
that's a pretty great origin story, though. I will be
oh,
honest.
yeah.
Mine's much less great.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, I'll probably ramble. I've rambled on long enough here, so I'll let you take the reins for a little bit about and tell us about where you have come from. I guess.
So basically, I have done many things in life. I was a bartender and I was a warehouse manager and stuff, and I kind of just always found found myself being drawn to PC gaming. I If I had to choose between a PlayStation, an Xbox, or a PC, I would always choose a PC
Hmm.
because to me it just makes sense
Yes.
to play with a keyboard and a mouse than it does to actually play with a controller. As well as, I mean, it's just like from a logical standpoint, if you have to upgrade your Xbox, you have to go buy a brand new Xbox, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you have
Mm-hmm.
to upgrade your PlayStation, you need like a PlayStation 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
I can just add RAM.
And yeah. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
just add
Yeah.
a hard drive, you know, like
Yeah.
I could just get a better graphics card. Like that's kind of my go-to, and that's why PC gaming has been so like a preference for me.
Yeah.
And I originally started gaming back in like not as early as Tom, but back far enough to the point where my parents had bought me like your like really basic at home like 4 gig RAM Windows XP kind of
Mm-hmm.
PC,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I found myself playing a lot of what's it called now? Sudoku.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
Origin games, bro. The
Hey.
Origin games.
Yeah.
I found myself playing a lot of Sudoku, and I did a lot of like weird stuff on like PowerPoint and Paint and stuff, and that's where kind of like the interest of like being on on a PC all the time kind of originated.
Yeah.
And this PC ended up dying. Rest in
Okay.
peace.
Yeah.
There were other games that I'd played on it that were like more childish games. I mean, this was definitely during the time of like Finding Nemo and stuff just released. So like I
Wow.
don't know when that was. Like let's just
Uh.
see. Like I am gonna digress.
Finding Nemo. That's
Let's see.
2007.
So yeah, 2007 was basically when I started playing games.
I
Like, and
think.
I'm putting that in quotations because those were like super childish games.
Did I get that right? 2007.
Um,
No, no, it was earlier than that.
2003,
2003. Oh my
2003.
god. Okay, so
So
that
that
means
like those kinds of games, like
does that
really
mean does that,
childish games.
sorry to have a segue for a moment, but does that mean Finding Nemo is 20 years old next year? That's
Yes.
whoa. Okay.
Now you feel
Right.
old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was like the kind of games that I would play, and I found myself playing these like really stupid games for hours, right? Where
Hmm.
everyone else had like maybe a PlayStation 1 or 2, and that was their vibe, you know? They were
Yeah.
playing like cooler games, I guess. Anyway, my PC died and I had to find a way to
Oh.
fix it. So I had a cousin who came over and started showing me how to take a PC apart
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and put it back together. And that's where kind of like my love for IT came in. IT, hardware, anything relating to technology and
Yeah.
computers. Fast forward a few years, I had a laptop. I played some Call of Duty. I played some Skyrim. I was like, I fucking love this so much. I did LAN events with some friends. We'd bring the whole PC over to his house
Yeah.
and we'd play that there. Or we'd go to a friend's house and like you knew he had a spare PC, so you'd like play on his PC and he'll play on his PC, and then there's like 7 other people with their own PCs. Like it was crazy. Like crazy. And that was basically like our online gaming, and that was cool. Like that was cool for us, you know.
Yeah.
Again, fast forward, and I had nothing. I had nothing. I couldn't game for like a good 6 years, and I was just like, this
Wow.
sucks.
Whoa.
I would literally like befriend people and be like, yo, do you have a PlayStation? Do you have an Xbox? Do you have a PC? Can I come play by you?
Wow.
And like I did that, and
Yeah.
like there are people that I'm still friends with today that our conversations literally started because I was like, I need to find a way to play games, and obviously this person ended up being an amazing person. I ended up being like longtime friends with them, you know,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was obviously a plus. And yeah, I ended up becoming a developer. And then a few months ago, I was like, oh, I worked in a new company. My PC died, and I bought a gaming PC.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
owned a proper gaming PC in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Never, not once. And my partner at the time was like, "Oh, this guy, the headbanging panda, Beamer, check him
Yeah,
out."
yeah,
Was like doing Twitch, and I was like, "What is that?" And I researched it, and he was cool. Like, obviously he's cool because like I met him in person, great guy,
mm-hmm.
went to
Mm-hmm.
gigs with him, whatever. But the idea of streaming was cool. So I was like, okay, I love this. He was getting a little bit of hate. There were some people that were like, oh, this is such a sellout move. Why are you going on to Twitch?
Yeah.
Like, you know? And I was like, no, but I actually like this idea. So when I got the gaming PC, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to buy Sims. And Sims 4 was the first game I ever played on stream.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay.
I I ended up meeting Firelight Siren, also a great streamer, by the way, guys. They're from Australia, and they are awesome as hell. And they introduced me to Valorant, and that's how I became a Valorant streamer, and that's how I met Tom. And it
Yeah.
was just like a big snowball effect from
Mm.
being a solo streamer and just playing Sims 4 to like introducing myself to like this large community of other
Mm.
Valorant players and streamers, and supporting one another to pursue our Twitch goals, which is amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a roller coaster, but that's how I ended up being a
That's really
streamer.
cool. That's really, really cool.
And yeah, it was a very up and down, and we'll obviously talk about like those ups and downs soon enough. But
Yeah.
that's how I originated and became a Twitch
Yeah.
streamer. Yeah.
So yeah.
Three
So
names later.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It's I think it's still really, really cool. Like, because like I said, we've got very different routes into it, and we've got very different ways that we've gone about it.
Yeah.
But it's still very interesting to find out, yeah, what those differences are. And how, well, everyone that you talk to, everyone that we meet, always has a very different way that they've kind of got into it.
Yeah.
Or like I say, but it's that mix as well where we've both kind of been to a point where we've had PCs, we've done PC gaming, we've done console gaming, but at the end of the day, you always seem to come back to PC because, like you say, it's all about that evolution, that ability to kind of upgrade a little bit here and there, and having that knowledge to be able to do that and know what it's all about is totally different to somebody who just buys something and just goes, yep, that'll do, buys a console, yep, that'll do for a few years, but then having to buy another one, like you say.
Yeah, and I mean consoles are not cheap.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
Like,
plumbing in a bunch of money, and yes, it will last. I mean, see, it's difficult because you'd think that if you try and calculate sort of the length of time that a console will last for its like run of like games that are provided for it,
yeah.
it's obviously a lot longer than say what you and I could run a PC for without changing a single thing. So if you ran a PC without changing a single thing, I mean, I was proof of that. When I started streaming, my previous PC would struggle with this badly. It would barely do the streaming and the gaming at the same time, and I had one screen, and it was just, yeah, very, very janky. But
You don't get any screens when you buy consoles.
this is true. Yeah, this is true. You don't get a
I'm
second
just
screen or anything.
saying.
Yeah.
Like you make the one you say
Boo.
like the one screen is like such a disadvantage, and it's
Yeah.
like, but you don't get a screen.
Yeah, and you can't really do anything else with a console other than play the game. So it's like, yeah. But
Yeah, exactly.
excuse me. But I've lost my train of thought now. Oh yeah, so the length of time that a console will last for its age is obviously a lot longer because it's meant to accommodate where a game at the start of the console's run is obviously very, very good. It's like, look at this fantastic new technology. This is a great game. It looks fantastic. Da, da, da. But then by the end of it, the developers will stretch the hardware of a console to its absolute limit, and then they have to bring out obviously the next console, and obviously that costs a lot of money as well. Whereas with a PC, it's like the actual PC itself could probably last a lot longer, but you go much shorter spaces of time where you get to a certain point and go, oh, I can't play this game because the hardware's not good enough. So we'll upgrade a little bit, upgrade a little bit, upgrade a little bit. Like it's almost like bite-sized chunks.
And I feel
Yeah.
like there's a big dependency on the kind of PC that you're gonna buy. So if you're gonna
Hmm.
buy your typical at home just for wood kind like Microsoft kind of PC,
Yeah.
you really are gonna struggle to play certain games. But like if you are the kind of person that's like, okay, I'm gonna buy a PC and I know I'm gonna be gaming on this PC, you're going to buy the PC and knowing you're gaming on the PC.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if the time span between actually buying like parts for the PC, that time span could be much longer because you know that you're gonna be buying the PC for games.
Yes,
If
yeah.
I had to buy, if I had to buy 6,000, 6,000 rand PC, it isn't gonna last. Like I would possibly have to like upgrade the RAM in like the next maybe 2 months.
Got you.
Just so that I can play maybe one particular game, and that's not even like the highest depth or the highest quality or the highest like like a really like high quality game. But like currently, I don't think I've ever had one game that I am not able to download or that is like really slow because of like my RAM maybe not being good enough or whatever. So I really do think like if you're buying a console with the thought in mind that you are going to be gaming on it, and when you buy a PC, you have to have the same thought, because if you have the same expectations on the same hardware, then the time span when you update your PC will be much longer because that PC is for gaming specifically.
Yes. Oh yeah. I always plan it whenever I've done anything with in terms of PCs. I mean, I have built my own in the very early in the past when I was a teenager and stuff like that. But I've also had a lot of pre-built PCs over the years, and I know probably going to get shunned in the community for having a pre-built PC and bought it, but it's a case of I've always bought pre-built PCs as a base, so it does the job, and I'm years in advance of what I need to be. But then when that time comes, I make sure it has the ability to be modified and keep going, like my previous one.
The thing, like I actually really appreciate someone who's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna build a PC from scratch, which is quite expensive.
Yes, it is in this day and age. Yes,
like fucking expensive, especially with the whole like crypto mining and stuff. Like the graphics cards are like off the charts, and it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
But if you buy like a pre-built PC, mine is a pre-built PC, but I removed so it originally had 500 I think it was 500 gigs solid state drive, so a very small solid state drive, and then a terabyte hard drive, which I then removed the solid state, added my terabyte solid state. So it has like been updated a bit.
Yeah.
And it will be updated again in future, whereas I will take all the information on the solid state and then put it on one of like the normal hard drives.
Yeah.
Then my PC can run even faster, because I mean, I think that's like the only issue I have with PCs is like space.
Oh yeah, storage space. Yeah.
I've had to delete so many games.
Yeah.
But it's obviously because it's work as well. Like I run a lot of code.
Well, yeah, that takes up a lot of space as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I find with my PCs that basically like I say, I like the fact that I do big jumps. So if I don't buy lots of little bits of hardware over the time if I don't need to, like say going from my last PC to this one was a big jump, because I mean I went from like now bearing in mind that we're now into 11th gen Intel processors or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I mean my current one at the moment is a 10th gen, because I just got that
Must be nice.
Yeah, 10th gen, but
I don't have a 10th gen.
Yeah, 10th gen, 10770 or something like that. I think it is, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
So not too bad. But I came from a 2nd gen i7.
Oh, rest in peace.
Second gen.
How did you do anything on that PC? What the fuck?
It was super fast, that's the thing. But it was a second gen Intel with a what GTX 650 6 series graphics card.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And I could play Valorant on it quite well, but that was about it.
You just couldn't stream and play Valorant at the same time.
Well, I could, but it was of the lowest of the low quality. Or it would struggle. Like when I met you, I had that PC and it kind of worked, and I didn't have this mic or anything like that. It kind of worked. I got it. It was a bit janky. Got it to work, but yeah, then jumped to this one, and it's night and day different. I mean, you know, this the only time that the computer actually has a bit of a fit is if it runs more than one Google Chrome tab, which is when any PC just kind of goes yeah, because Google Chrome is just like the beast of all things. By the way, just for anybody who's listening on Spotify, I did just wave my arms in the air like some kind of idiot.
Yeah.
So
know that you did that.
yeah, so yeah, that was a bit jazz hands.
I was thinking, like, imagine you're like working and you're listening on Spotify and you just hear this man start screaming.
Yeah, so, yeah, but like yeah, so like this PC is night and day different, and I mean it is like jumping from like PS2 generation to like PS5 generation. It's that big of a jump.
That's crazy.
And I mean, let's say 10th gen i7. I also have a 500 gig SSD and 2 terabytes of storage as well. And also external drive sitting up there with all my work stuff on it as well, and just various other backups and things like that. And you know, all that's running absolutely sublimely without a problem. You know, Discord, streaming, gaming, the lot. You know, it basically just it does anything that you throw at it essentially, which is what I need. I need just a powerhouse, and it was worth possibly putting myself into debt for. But you know, it's one of those things. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still paying off this whole situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, can relate.
Yeah, I got it on I got it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we had also like discussed like what is like the cultural differences between being a South African streamer and a British streamer.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like I'm actually very curious because this is like a question that we had originally just like not really touched base on, but it was kind of like this is on the list of things that we could talk about, and I was like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, how does this relate? So how do you think like the cultural difference between me being a South African streamer would be to obviously you being in the UK and streaming as a UK streamer?
I think to be honest, I mean, because obviously, you know, a lot of people who watch streamers and things like that will gravitate to local people. So you know, as a generalization, you could say, right, okay, I could get a UK following, and you could get a South African following, and that's kind of where the genesis would begin, and then it would kind of grow from that. Obviously, but we've done it, I think, with the right way, where because we're kind of crossing borders in already in that respect, and we've already had or met a group of people that are from all over. You know, you got Australia, Finland, Netherlands, you know, everywhere really, and because of that, it's kind of diversified a little bit. So I would say that for us in particular, I think because of that crossover, it hasn't really affected us differently in a sense. We're just kind of on that same plane, which is good, and it kind of brings the world together in a certain respect. And I feel like that's what we kind of wanted to achieve, really. But in terms of, I mean, I would find that me being in the UK, obviously having a British accent, and also being from the north of the UK as well, which is a rather different thing. There are very, very, very few northern British streamers. I've looked all over the place, and apart from, say, I do know of a small handful of people who I've either gone to school with or I've met previously who do stream every now and again because they're local local to me. But I will say that what was I going to say? That yeah, if you look in general, the community of just UK streamers is actually quite small, if I'm honest. And it's surprisingly small in comparison to say like America or South Korea or um, you know, well, I can't really think of anywhere else really that has a big kind of streaming following, maybe like China or Japan
Yeah.
or something like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, I do you feel the same way as like the fact South Africa as a whole has still at the moment still quite a small streaming community.
I don't think that South Africa has a small streaming community. I think that I mean there are quite a lot of South African streamers. It's just there's a lot of I want to say discrimination. I'm just gonna say it out there because of the how do I say the opportunity to have good equipment in order to stream
Yeah.
is quite limited in South Africa. And I also think that um I also think so our internet is quite expensive as well. So like in order to have like the good internet, so like it's the reason why it's so niche is because um the reason why it's so niche is because I don't know how to explain it without sounding like weird about it. It's just because these opportunities aren't available
Yes.
for other people, other parts of Africa, South Africa, like when we're talking about the internet and stuff. I do also think a lot of people in South Africa think that streaming on Twitch is uncool. So when I first started streaming, it was literally like out of my circle of people that I knew personally on a personal level, it was literally just Panda. It was just a headbanging Panda. Now, obviously, and I'm just naming South African streamers off the top of my head. There's obviously Person EXE. There's Chris Dredd. There's Mellow.
Yeah.
There's Cuddle Bear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's Junglist.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
there's Kini, there's Gohan, there's but I'm like the common thing of like the people that are streaming, there are mostly European as well. So
Okay.
like there's also like that aspect that's looked at, and I think maybe that might be the discriminatory part, and it would be great if other people within South Africa could also have the opportunity to stream,
Gotcha.
and so that we could also learn from like other people from South Africa, because it's not just us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Solak. Like I
Solak,
was like going through all the names of South African
Yeah.
streamers, and I forgot Solak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's like culture wise, like streaming, playing games, being like very tech orientated. If you straight out of high school, you are a nerd.
Yeah.
Like you are seen as a nerd if you
Yeah.
play games and do all those things. If you take gaming more serious than you take rugby, you are a nerd. And I
Yes.
think if I get invited to a party and I say I'm not going because I'm streaming Saturday, they're gonna be like, are you serious? Like, do you take streaming that serious? I'm like, yeah, I take it that serious. My friends, I play games with my friends online, and they're like, that's lame. You're lame. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to go out and waste money if I can chill at home and maybe make a sub or two and make some new friends. No, like I'm cool. I'm Gucci. but yeah, I think like on a cultural, on just like a general level, being South African, being a South African streamer can be quite difficult because a lot of people would prefer to listen to a hot Finnish accent or a hot British accent or like a cool Scottish accent or
Yeah,
I don't think people go out looking for South African streamers
I beg
unless
to
you're
differ.
South African. Unless you're South African.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I must admit, like I say, we've both always agreed that we appeal to we try to appeal to like a worldwide audience, um, because yeah, because of a game like Valorant, for example, that does bring people together naturally, and obviously sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, just because it depends on how toxic people are or something like that when they sort of join things. But like it's one of those things where um it's one of those things maybe that yeah, I feel that for myself, as much as in the UK and talking to, say for example, if I bring it more closer to home, it's a case of you've got my youngest stepsister loves watching streamers. She loves watching Valkyrie, Saikuno, all the big ones like that, like just like everybody else that I
Yeah.
know who enjoys watching streams, and she's a big fan of those and things like that. But she feels that she can't stream herself because she's just not confident enough to do it. Whereas her sister, however, um, does stream, or she has streamed in the past. I don't think
Yeah.
she's doing it as much now, but she has streamed in the past, and she just did that because of COVID, basically. So she was just kind
Yeah.
of trapped inside, didn't really have much to do in terms of work. So it was a case of that's the way that she's going to pass the time, was just streaming and just seeing what happens. And to be fair, she's very very good at it. She's kind of made a name for herself a little bit. She's got some followers and what have you. But I just don't think that she's put everything into it. She's not like putting all of her eggs in one basket and just kind of going, right,
Yeah, I don't think
streaming's just what I want to do.
I don't think a lot of people do that. I mean, when it comes to streaming, I don't think a lot of people put everything they possibly can into streaming because of this. I mean, it's hard work. Like a lot of people, when I first started streaming, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna jump onto stream. I'm gonna meet like a lot of people, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna start getting subs now, and that's gonna be amazing."
Mm.
And it didn't happen. That's
Mm.
that concept of like, oh, I'm gonna be as popular as said person.
Yes.
Mind you, when I became a Twitch streamer, like the most popular person I knew was the headbanging Vanda.
Yeah.
I wasn't the kind of person, and I'm not really that kind of person that watches big Twitch streamers
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because of the fact that if I'm gonna watch a streamer and I say hey in chat, how are you doing? Chat exists for you to chat back. If
Yes.
there are 600 people chatting to you, you are not chatting to chat. You're not chatting to me as an individual. You're chatting to 600 people, hoping that your response touches on someone's
Yes.
message.
Yes. Yeah.
And even though that is definitely the goal as a streamer, I would rather be able to stream to 50 people at a time than 300 or 600 or 8,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, my expectations, like, I am jumping the gun a bit, but
Mm.
my expectations of Twitch have actually never been to be like extremely famous and have so many people. And I know a lot of streamers that are like really gunning to be really popular, like Lil Piston. They want to do it full time, they want to be really successful in it, and they want a lot of people watching them all the time. And I take my hat off, to them for having those kinds of goals, because that kind of what's the word?
Commitment.
That kind of commitment, like it takes balls,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will admit that, the thought of, see, because again, sort of going from like the Saikuno influence for me was always a case of, I'll stay small, I'll just build my community in terms of, the friends that I want to play games with or do whatever, talk to, share my life with, whatever. And again, the games is just kind of like a sideline to that and a bonus to that. But it's like stay small, talk to a small amount of people, keep it personal, keep it kind of, like a very personal experience for everyone who wants to join in and be a part of it. Because it does basically scare the crap out of me. The fact that if, say, for example, I was to blow up randomly, that you got a chat which is just like, and you cannot read it quick enough, so you can't cover everybody unless they're like spamming repeatedly the same things, and
Or they're like highlighting messages or like
yeah,
are all up in your face, gifting you subs. You're never gonna really notice
yeah,
one specific person. And that's kind of scary. I think that's why as a streamer, like my goals are more to create a tight knit community where
yes,
where we can support each other. Put it this way. If I had like a group of maybe like 50 people, right?
yeah,
They're coming to chat, they gift me subs. Then, the next time someone streams, I go into their chat, I gift them a few subs.
yeah,
Like that is my community. That's like my stream goal, like being able
mm,
to be in obviously a good financial position due to, Twitch support,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and being able to support other streamers in, their stream goals.
Yes, yes,
And basically create a community like that. I
yeah,
don't. There's no. For me, there's no desire to have like 100 people or over 500 people in chat, because I personally don't like that, and I wouldn't want to make anyone else feel excluded the same
yeah,
way other big streamers have made me feel excluded.
yeah,
To the point where like I've literally followed someone. I've followed some of them,
mm,
and my name pops up on screen and they don't say anything, and I'm just like, nope, unfollow. Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah,
That is just. I know it sounds really whacked, and it's
yeah.
just like,
See,
to me, it's like, if you don't even have the audacity or decency to look at your screen and be like, oh, so and so followed, then
yeah,
you don't
you
care
see,
about your community. You care about money. That's it.
that's the thing. I think that as well. If it comes to that, where you have such a big following and a big community and things like that, and things are just kind of rushing by, the subs are coming in, the followers are coming in, da, 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 da. And I find that really interesting. As much as, yes, I do agree in the respect of, if people just aren't spending the time to recognize when these new followers and new subs are coming in, if they just kind of just go gloss over them completely, then that is a bit like, they're just not making
Yeah.
the effort. But at the same time, though, when you think about it, I mean, well, you just need to watch somebody like Pokimane or something like that, where obviously those alerts that come up on the screen are there for a reason. They're there for to alert, excuse me, alert the audience as to what's going on. But
Yeah.
literally, it's pinging off every minute, just like dish, 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 like this. So there's no way that if you have a massive audience, that you can keep up and go, thanks for that, 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 because you'd have no space to say anything else.
Um. Okay. So when I say just some kind of recognition, right?
Yeah.
So there's been moments as a streamer where I have rated a bigger streamer,
Yes.
right? Rated them with maybe 6 or 7 viewers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was not good enough for that streamer.
Well, yes. Yeah. That's
Like,
where
that's
it
raid,
gets.
bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's I'm rating you with my people, say hello.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Exactly.
hi, thank you so much for the raid. Don't have to ask me how I'm doing, who I am, what did I stream.
Hmm.
You don't have to ask me any of that. You just have to be like, thank you so much for the raid.
Yeah.
If a streamer doesn't do that, I'll never raid you again, and I'll definitely not follow you. And that's
Exactly.
why I don't raid big streamers either.
Mm,
I will not raid I will not raid a streamer bigger than maybe if they have more than 30 people in
Mm-hmm,
chat,
mm-hmm.
I will not raid them.
Okay. Okay.
That is just a rule, because if I'd rather support small communities and have their egos be small enough to be like, oh, okay, thank you so much. I
Mm.
appreciate that. That was cool of you. Then to have them be like, oh, well, I'm so big. I don't even need to recognize you right now. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's not cool. And that's actually quite something that happens a lot. So
Mm.
I do attempt to raid a few South African streamers every now and again, and there's been moments where people they just think so highly of themselves not to accept that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing I must admit about raiding is that I feel like I've not yet had an audience big enough where I felt like it warrant raiding somebody else, really, because I just don't feel that what this of the kind of audience I have at the moment is by no means big enough to make an impact. So it's like, as much as, yeah, okay, maybe raiding someone with 3 watchers or 4 or 5 or whatever viewers might big somebody up in terms of if they're the same level as me, for example, great. But at the same time, I don't want to. I feel at the moment that sometimes I just waste people's time. If say you're hosting someone, it's like, oh, hosting with like 1 viewer, and they're like, thanks for that, and that's it, and it's like,
I'm gonna disagree a little bit
mm,
because there are streamers that you and I know personally that have come into my stream, have rated me with maybe 1 or 2 people, and it sounds crazy, but that one person that they rated with, or those 2 people that they rated with, they could follow that person. So
yeah,
so
okay,
like,
okay, okay,
for instance, when Mav raids me. Mav is actually the most common streamer that raids me,
yeah,
like on a regular basis.
mm,
And he will raid me, and someone will come in and they'll follow me. Then I'll stream again, maybe 2-3 days later, and he'll raid me again, and that person will follow me. And I get a follow. I mean, not every time, but
yeah,
I get a follow when people raid me, or like when we play games with other streamers. So
yeah,
playing with Gohan 420, and people were like, oh, who you playing with? And then you'll be like, oh, I'm playing with Ducky Blue, or oh, I'm playing with ThomaHawk UK, and then you end
yeah,
up with a follow. Like that is
yeah, yeah,
that is the whole point of like community, and that's why rating is so important. Yes, there are nights where you only have like one person and none of your friends are online, so you can't raid them.
yeah,
Will I go raid someone completely new with 1 viewer? Possibly not.
yeah,
Possibly
yeah.
not.
Okay,
You know?
okay, okay.
But if you're online, Tom, and you and I are not playing, and I have 2 viewers, I'm gonna raid you with those 2 viewers,
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you might not have those 2 viewers on your follower list, and I
yeah,
want to obviously introduce people to who you are, as a streamer.
mm,
So rating definitely has its perks in a
yeah.
sense,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
yeah, it's definitely a great way to widen someone's community. Um, Yeah, but it's not something you have to do all the time, of course.
No, no. I mean,
Everyone says you have to raid. I'm like, no, you don't.
no,
You
I
don't have
don't. No,
to.
no. I must admit, sometimes I do feel bad when I don't because it's a case of if I'm just not feeling the vibe, or it's a case of my streams come to an end. I thought, that's that, and yeah, okay, maybe I haven't passed it on, but that's normally mostly because, say, for example, if I'm playing games with yourself, but then I'm also playing games with Sarlacc, I'm also playing games with anybody else like that. If you guys are also streaming as well, chances are that your people are watching me as well as you already. So me raiding you would kind of be just doesn't it wouldn't affect it at all because it would just be like they're already there. They're already in a sense.
Again, like if let's say now we're playing with Piston. Okay, so Piston's audience is mostly Irish, or American actually. No, I take
Yeah,
that back.
yeah,
He's mostly American,
mm,
and let's say now he's playing with us, and he decides, okay, he's gonna cut streaming a little early tonight, and he raids me. He is gonna be giving me like so many more people, even
oh
though
yeah,
we
oh
were
yeah, yeah, yeah.
together, you
Mm.
know. And then those people, when I'm done streaming, I'm gonna send to you. and then when you're done, you're gonna send it to person or whoever, you know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand that where there's a
Like
chain. Yeah,
there is a little bit of a chain
yeah.
reaction, and that's why being able to play games with other streamers is so important, and that's
Yes,
why
I agree
games
with that. Yeah.
like Valorant or GTA
Mm.
or any like large
Yeah.
groups of games, like, you know, games where you can play with multiple people. It's so important and so valuable to be able to have like big community nights like that.
Yes, yeah.
um,
I mean,
love community nights, although Valorant community nights are crazy.
yeah, 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 yeah. I agree.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, as a sideline to that, I guess we can delve in a bit more into Valorant, I suppose, and our experience with Valorant. But you know, this might be a controversial thing for me to say, but in general, I hate shooting games. Absolutely hate them. Absolutely hate them with a passion. I
I
mean,
mean, I don't blame you.
the last sort of shooting game I used to play a lot of was say if I'm going backwards from Valorant, it'd be a case of Battlefield, Battlefield 2. I played that a lot. Just because it was a very long game and you have to strategize, you can group up, you can do all that kind of stuff. And it's that kind of side of things I quite like. Rather than the actual shooting itself, I don't really care about that. It's more so the grouping and the teamwork and all that kind of that different element to it. But also, before that, this is going back a bit. I used to play Quake a lot.
I have no clue what that is.
Oh, Quake is like you've heard of Doom, right? No.
No.
When I was younger, back in my day,
Back in my day.
back in my day, early PC gaming, there were three major games that had a shooting involved that I actually I could get away with, and it was Doom, which you need to look up, Doom, Quake, so the original Quake or Quake 2 and then Quake 3 arenas and things like that, and also Alien, playing the game Alien, which of course now we've got well, in the last 5 years or so we've had Alien Isolation, but I played the original Alien game, the original one from the 90s, and it's like
From the
yep, the 90s. Yeah. So, but like, yeah, so there's been a handful of shooting games I've kind of enjoyed to a certain degree, but most of the time it's because those games were, especially Quake and Doom, were multiplayer. So it's a case of, you know, that's how you just generally meet people in the early days of online gaming or split screen gaming or whatever, you know, like I mean, you could even go, if you want to sideline off this a little bit more, consoles, obviously the biggest console multiplayer game that was ever created for the PlayStation was GoldenEye 007, James Bond. And because that was like because that was a four player split screen, and as long as you had four controllers, you could all play that together, which in fact I think it was remastered and re-released about maybe a year ago, I think. So people could play it again, and it was very nostalgic because that's another game that's from very late 90s, early 2000s, and it was PlayStation 1 and then PlayStation 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you could do multiplayer gaming.
And if I think of like PlayStation 2 games, I think of like Tekken.
Well, yeah.
Not even like Tekken and
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yes.
Yeah.
And then what was that game? Why do I feel like there was a Need for Speed as well, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Need for Speed as well.
Need for
I
Speed
didn't have the
Underground.
PlayStation 2. My cousin had a PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Need for Speed
And he was
Underground. Yeah.
playing
Need
stuff.
for
I
Speed
couldn't play
Underground
with
1.
because I was too young. Way too young.
But
And
you
then
see
that's when the girls that walk and then they start like getting stuck when they walk.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, well, in terms of like games sort of that kind of shaped what I would play. I mean, obviously there was a lot of racing game stuff, Gran Turismo, that, like I said before, but as well, Grand Theft Auto, of course, which Grand Theft Auto, in theory, I should have only been playing Grand Theft Auto the past maybe, well, 12 years in theory, legally, but it's a case of No, you know, playing Grand Theft Auto. I'd been playing Grand Theft Auto ever since I had a PS2, which was 2002 or something like that.
Shh.
So
Don't tell people your secrets.
yeah, but I mean, you know, everyone did. All kids did. Then it was just like, wow, this game which is like really, really horrifically violent, you know, and doing all those sorts of crime things and all that jazz,
Yeah.
and playing that from such a young age. But it's because
This is where
you got.
like the OG criminals originated because they were busy playing GTA.
Sorry, say again.
This is where all like the OG criminals started because they started playing GTA of our
Well, yes,
generation.
that has been the myth of like, oh yeah, GTA was enough to influence a whole generation of like thieves and crime people and yeah, criminals and
I
yeah,
mean, let's be honest. Like when you play a game, right? Like I don't have any knowledge of guns whatsoever,
no,
right?
no,
But when I see someone in a Marvel movie shoot a SMG, I'm like, yo, that's such a cut gun. Why would you use that gun?
yeah,
like, I'm like, the spray pattern's whack. Why would you use that gun? And then my partner's like, you know nothing about guns. I'm like, hey, in Valorant, the SMG is cuck, okay?
yeah.
I mean, it is. It really
It
is. Like,
is,
it's
it
not
is.
like the greatest gun.
But you see,
Um,
it just goes to show as well. I mean, yeah, my knowledge of guns is next to non-existent. Again, shooting games is not my primary thing. So you know, I used to play CS:GO as well. I've played that a while back.
yeah.
Never any good at it, mainly because I used to
And
spend the whole yeah. Shocker. It's, but yeah,
Ouch.
I just spend my time just running around with dual Berettas. You know, that was my go-to in CS:GO was dual Berettas or a
Oh
machine gun.
wow.
So it was just like yeah, because all my friends would just like go like just like shake their head and cover their eyes because they would just go, oh, he's back with his dual Berettas again. Not going to kill anybody, you know, because it just doesn't work, you know. Um, but yeah, with Valorant again, it's that whole thing of just building the community. That's what's got me into it really, because the Valorant game itself is very clever, and it's the fact that
Yes.
you work as a team with not only just the guns and things like that, it's the skill sets, it's the abilities, it's the strategy, and if you get good communication going, you actually have a very good game because it's like it's you're all talking to each other, working together, and that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what got me into Valorant more than anything. And I actually have been in Valorant ever since it was released. I actually
Oh
saw
wow.
it. Yeah. So I actually saw it and I thought, you know what? It's free to play. I'm going to give this a go. I'll always look at free to play games and just kind of
Were there
go,
people you were playing Valorant with before you met Ember and I?
yeah.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
weren't playing by yourself.
not all the time, but a lot of the time I would be. But I have met a fair few people through Valorant, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the time I
Okay.
was
Well,
playing.
you know, obviously I've met people through Valorant as well. I met you through Valorant
Yeah.
and a lot of other people, a
Yeah.
crazy amount. So like I guess like my next thing is like like reverting back to like streaming and Twitch.
Yeah.
Have you received any hate being a streamer or just like streaming and then having someone troll you in
Um
chat?
Yeah, a little bit, yes, but I think I'm because of the type of person that I am, and I already knew the expectations of it. It's the fact that I don't let it get to me. I just brush it off and be like, right, okay, and but it's like I ultimately know that in terms of my stream is my bubble, if you like, and for people to watch my stream, they come into my bubble, they come into my environment, they're coming into my home here. You
Yeah.
know, this is part of what they see, part of my little sanctuary, if you like, and of a community. And again, if I sort of double back and kind of go off the kind of philosophy that Saikuno wanted to go for, his goal really was just to build a community that was nice to each other, nice to him, nice to be around, and just all around good. You know, good vibes
Yeah.
only. I've always that's something I've said repeatedly throughout my streams is good vibes only. And like um So it's like, trying to keep that positive vibe as much as I can throughout. And yeah, I just don't let the hate get to me, because at the end of the day, if someone just really, really wants to be kind of negative, then I just kind of go, I'll either call them out on it, or I'll just remove them.
You're just
Simple as
like,
that.
yo, man, stop being a fucking asshole, okay?
Basically,
Let's
yeah,
be
yeah,
cool. Oh, I wish I could. I honestly wish I could be like that and just
mm,
like not let haters bother me. Dude, I had a bomb threat. Like, someone literally came from Valorant. I tell the story all the time, and this is
yeah,
why people are like, your name is Ducky Blue in game and Ducky Blue on stream, but why is it spelled different? And I'm like, it's spelled different so that the people don't try and search me on Twitch with that name, because
yeah.
I've literally had a child come into my chat and threaten to bomb my house because I was a girl and I got MVP. Like, that is literally been like the biggest hate that I've gotten on Twitch, but it wasn't even really Twitch related, it was more Valorant related.
Mm,
Um Obviously there's a lot of like bots and stuff, and maybe rude people. I think a lot of the time people think that they can come into chat and like challenge you on what you say and your opinions, and I'm like, no,
yeah.
this is not the place nor the time.
Mm,
If I'm having a conversation with another streamer and he or she is okay, or they are okay with what we're talking about, then that's fine.
yeah.
But you don't get to come into my stream and tell me your opinion is wrong. Like, this is an open conversation about open opinions, but you
Yeah.
can't distinguish whether someone's opinion is wrong or right, because that's not how life works. You can't just
Exactly.
say, fuck you, fuck your opinion. This person that's talking to you is right, you know?
Mm,
So I have had to actually block someone because of that. And do I see this person on a regular basis? No, but I do see them in other streams and stuff, and
got you.
my brain is just like, no, that wasn't cool. I don't
No,
like
no.
that. That to me, that causes vibes, and it's
Mm,
just like, you could be like, oh, I don't really agree with what you say,
yeah,
or just don't like leave my chat, like
yeah,
just leave my stream.
yeah.
So yeah. Otherwise, I mean, that's like been like the extent of any kind of hate.
Mm,
Um, I do think that there is an expectation as a female streamer that doesn't expose a lot of things when it
mm,
comes to, you know what I mean,
yeah,
like I'm not a pretty streamer girl, like a girl, basically. In the sense of, don't roll your eyes at me. In the sense of exposed areas and like heavy makeup and ooh voices and shit. I'm very like me. I'm very
yeah,
very raw in a sense. And I think because I choose to be that person, I do struggle a little bit when it comes
yeah.
to streaming. Um because I'm very like authentic.
Yes,
I'm very
yes,
much
yeah,
my authentic self,
yes.
where I do think a lot of streamers, they talk in a very pretty voice and they say ooh a lot, and no, that's not me, bro.
No,
That's not me.
no. Well, that, I
Um
think, I think, I think that's what kind of that's what kind
I
of.
felt so awkward doing that now.
Oh my god, yeah. But I think, I think that's what. Yeah, authenticity is the thing that kind of has. But that the thing that did draw me to you actually was the fact that obviously when we met, I was just in a random Valorant game. You then said
But
afterwards,
here comes the stories, guys. Here
yeah,
comes
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
story.
random Valorant game. I met somebody. I met a couple of people who were very, very happy that I joined. Apparently, I was very British and my voice was really nice. And
Yeah, their
and
their their
and
words were
and
literally, Tom, you have a sexy voice, marry me.
yeah, but also, but no, but it was like it was also, because somebody was streaming and chatting in the stream that I couldn't see at first, and words were being said, compliments were being said. It was like a hard W for me there. But of course, then you then said, "Oh, I'm streaming. Do you want to play another game?" I thought, "Yeah, why not?" And then the rest is history from there. But yeah, I mean, I will touch on
One
this
who
a little.
asked Tom to marry me, okay? I wasn't the one who proposed, just so everyone knows.
Uh,
Ah, cheeks hurt.
uh,
Ah.
I want to kind of double back to the Valorant thing as well, like community wise. How do you feel usually about like expressing that you're streaming on Valorant?
Oh, bro.
Do you find it tough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I do think that I have it maybe a little bit more tough than my male counterparts, though.
Mm.
I have this like internal fear that if I tell someone in game that I'm a streamer, that they're like again gonna want to come to stream to
Yeah.
see whether or not I'm exposing something, to see whether or not, you know, I fit some kind of box, it's like
Yeah.
streamer eagle box, which I have piercings and colorful hair, but I don't think I would consider myself an eagle. Um, I am very alternative, but not in the eagle sense.
No, no.
Don't get me wrong, if I could do eagle makeup, I fucking would.
Fair? Okay.
But I can't. I
Hmm.
can't. If anyone wants to like send me a few tutorial videos, you're welcome to do that. But anyway, or send me makeup vouchers. I'm also down for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I can't afford ego makeup to begin with. But yeah, I do think there are certain expectations when people want to come to my stream and like see what I look like and maybe follow me or whatever. I do think a lot of the time Valorant also has a lot of underage players.
Right,
And
yes.
that could be quite problematic to not inviting them to stream, but basically saying I'm a streamer, because there are a few underage people that come to my stream, and I don't necessarily talk about anything specific or expose. What's the word?
Explicit.
Explicit. That's the word.
That's the word. There we go.
However, I do swear a lot. So I feel like if a mother knew that their son or daughter was, watching streams of someone who swears as much as I do, they might not be the happiest parent on the planet.
Yeah.
But then again, their kids are playing Valorant. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that comes with the well, it is the internet these days, because kids can surf the internet and just kind of find anybody, any streamer, almost. And it's a case of, for me personally, I will try to be relatively, I guess, family friendly or PG in a certain respect, but I always make sure that, okay, it is designed for an adult audience anyway, in the sense of sometimes the subjects I talk about could be either a little bit explicit, maybe just a little bit kind of a bit edgy, a little bit kind of I'm not scared to talk about those things. That's the thing. And I'm comfortable. And again, it goes back to having that control over your stream, and kind of just realizing that as long as you realize in your mind that it's your stream, you have control, you can do whatever you want it to be, you can make it whatever you want it to be. And if there are people that perhaps disagree with you, they can voice those disagreements. Great. Start a healthy debate on something. Great. But if they're doing one thing just to terrorize your channel and just bring it down, change the vibe, something like that, then remove them and just and that goes for anybody of any age. For me, it doesn't matter. And the fact that if I have viewers that are 30 or 13, it makes no odds to me, because it's not me kind of saying watch me. I'm not like that. It's a case of they've taken the choice to click on my channel and go, oh, this guy seems all right. He's playing Valorant very poorly at that. It might be quite amusing because he's terrible. But it's that kind of thing. Yeah. He's Iron 2 at best, and it's kind of that kind of deal.
Hey, don't down them Iron 2s. I'm an Iron 2.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, fine. Whatever.
It's that kind of thing.
On that note.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing though. It's like we play Valorant just to have a laugh, because it's a game where you play it how you want to.
People take it way too seriously.
Oh, some people do.
Shit, man.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, even I take it way too seriously sometimes. Like I
Oh,
get
I
so
get,
mad.
yeah, I get triggered by it. I think that Valorant's
Oh,
probably one of the
I
only.
get triggered too.
Yeah, oh yes, oh yes. Um,
He says, "Oh yes," because
oh
he
yes,
knows. He
I know.
knows.
I know all too well. But I mean, there's been times I've wanted to flip the table and stuff like that because it's just like, but it all comes down as well as who you're playing with. If you're
Yeah, of
really
course.
playing with people who perhaps are just not playing in the on the same page as you or the
Yeah.
same way as you, then it just ruins it for everybody else. Let's be honest, and it can
No,
quite
I
easily
mean,
do that.
I think yeah, I think when it comes to just advertising, or when it comes to like meeting people in stream and then saying that you are in Valorant, and just to say that you're a streamer can
Yeah.
be quite dangerous as well,
Mm.
because of stream sniping and the things that can happen as you do that. So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I actually almost never plug myself. I never plug myself
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
Valorant game unless I have connected with a player. Unless I've
yeah.
like specifically have connected with a player, or I really like something about their personality or voice.
Yeah. It's
Yes,
normally the
yes,
voice,
of
isn't it?
course.
Yes.
There are like London people. I'm like, oh my god, they sound so amazing. Please be my friend.
All
Just
right,
because I
London
can,
people.
bro. Just because I can. You know, I love a lot of accents. Like I just
Yeah.
have a fascination with accents in general.
Hmm?
But I think we're gonna call it.
What I'll quickly say, I will ask one more question before we finish,
Okay.
and I guess it depends on how long it takes to explain this. But what would you think overall would be your end goal with Twitch right now? I mean, where would you see yourself being in, say, I don't know, a year's time or 2 years time or something like that? What kind of goal do you want to get out of Twitch?
So I would really like to stream full time.
Okay. Okay.
That and I know that that's surprising. I think I think in our group of people Piston and I have that in common. I would
Yes.
love to stream full time.
Absolutely.
I don't have the financial capacity to do that.
Yeah.
Where he can, because he's obviously in that kind of like a good situation to do that.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to pursue all the artistic things that I enjoy and
Hmm.
make money from doing that. I
Excellent.
feel like
Yeah.
I do have a very creative person and personality. Like I'm just very creative, and I have a
Hmm.
very like authentic and um, kind of like in your face personality.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have a pretty decent personality for Twitch. The only thing is I'm not able to put all the effort that I would like into Twitch, because I obviously have a day job. If Twitch
Yes.
were my day job, that would be a different story.
Absolutely.
And I would be able to put so much more effort into everything that I do and say and games that I play and how I advertise my streams and everything.
Yes.
But
Yes.
because everything is quite generalized at this point,
Mm.
because I need to focus on work and stuff, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But hopefully at some point, you know, like the goal is obviously, I said before, I am a developer, and that is very much a demanding job.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not as creative as I had expected originally to be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that, you know, I've started pursuing on the sidelines other than my career to attempt to make more money.
Yeah.
And if any one of those ideas assist me in making more money than my current day job, then I'll definitely leave my day job to be a streamer and then do those other things part time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas streaming would then still will as then streaming would be my full time job, as my current full time job is, and the other things would still be part time.
Got you.
And
Got
then
you.
obviously the other things would be like investments, you know, maybe digital design, um, cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
I actually would like to go into property at some point as well, if I
Nice.
could financially do that.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things that interest me, that could be financially freeing if I had enough knowledge
Yeah.
and patience for them. So yeah,
Ah.
that's my streaming goal, and it's just It's just I need to get those other goals first. You know, I need to
Yes.
reach those other goals first.
There's like
before...
stepping stones. Stepping stones.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I feel like those stepping stones are gonna take a while. So
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
my stream dreams are gonna have to wait.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's really interesting because, like I say, you do come across as a very driven person in terms of you have lots of little avenues that you could go down, and
Yes.
any one of those could lead to a success of some form. And
Yes,
you have
my ADHD is very preventative though.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
prevents
yeah.
me from pursuing a lot of things because of a lot of like self-doubt and distraction and
we will talk about that in another podcast. I think with
yes,
ADHD
we
'cause it's very
definitely
interesting.
should. I
It's
have
very,
a
very
lot of
interesting.
streamer friends with ADHD.
I think
So
that seems to be
could
a
a
common...
whole season.
No, that seems like a common trend, to be fair. And that's why I've always had thoughts about that for myself as well. But that's besides the point. Yeah, it's very interesting that you
I think so, Tom. I'm pre-diagnosing you unprofessionally, as I am not a professional, but
Fair
as
enough.
someone with ADHD, the way you jump between topics, my guy.
I'm just trying to keep the thing going. I mean, yeah, but
The thing is like I'm trying to structure this as well, and
Yeah.
like we're trying to structure it, but also like not structuring it because
Well,
we both
that's-
end up
that's-
talking about other shit.
yeah, we digress. We digress. Anyway, no, but let's talk about my end goal then.
Yes, let's
so,
go. Let's talk about
yeah.
your end goal.
So it's like I say, it's very, very interesting because obviously you've got your multiple ideas, and
Yes.
I am quite the opposite of that. I have zero ideas of what I mean. As my job at the moment, I'm not even doing anything IT related at all.
Yeah.
At all. I at all. Jazz hands again. I need to stop doing that.
Jazz.
Yeah.
we need to make like the thumbnail for the YouTube, you doing jazz hands.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Well, yeah. Like, so I'm not doing anything related to IT at all, really. And I've studied for IT for a long time, and studied also games development itself. So like behind the scenes and the coding and the design and all that aspect as well. So it's kind of some things have been in a similar vein to you, but in a different aspect. And I've also done web development in the past and Microsoft applications and lots of other things besides. But I've not really applied those to anything career-wise whatsoever. So I've just kind of fell into things that I've just kind of went, oh, I'll give this a go and see what happens. And
Yeah.
I use that same attitude as much as, to be honest, 99% of the time, that attitude towards things, I will admit, 99% of the time, that attitude towards things isn't very successful. Simply
Yes.
because it's kind of, let's just give it a go, see what happens. See where the cards lie. It's when, 52 card pickup, you just throw the deck, see what happens, and pick a card,
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, because of that, I'm leaving my mind wide open, not thinking about things too much, leaving my mind clear, or clear as it can be, I suppose. Just kind of thinking about what I'm doing right now in the current state of things, but then thinking to myself, okay, say my streaming has a possibility to get bigger and better and all that kind of stuff, and I'm all for it. I will adapt. I will mold myself into that groove. So if streaming then replaces my job, great, super. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And because I'm not thinking, oh, I failed at this, I failed at that, I failed at that, I failed at that, I failed at that, I failed. This has failed. This has failed. This has failed.
Get
a long
it.
list. That which can happen. If I'm not dwelling on that too much, then I'm like, okay, let's just focus what I can do. Let's focus on what's doing well. And I think that's kind of kept me level-headed in a sense of where I just kind of remind myself of what I can do. I remind myself on what I have. I remind myself on what's in the now, and not thinking about, oh, what's going to happen in a year's time too much or anything like that. It's a case of I'm very, very laid back about the whole thing because I'm very open to any possibility. So, like, there is, obviously I do have ideas, perhaps, every now and again. I'll just kind of get an idea and go, oh, let's try this, let's try that, and see if it sticks, But I'm, like I say, because of that, I'm more than happy just to kind of give something a go. and just kind of run with it, you know. And that's
Yeah.
kind of where that's kind of what my end goal is at the end of the day, is strive to make the most of what I have.
I mean,
You know?
that's a great way to go about things.
Yeah.
It's better than not having any goals. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
it's definitely a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's it for tonight, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it there because I think we have been rambling for quite some time now. Yeah. So either now this is where we make our kind of slight plan idea. Is either our second episode will be another one similar to this where we maybe talk about ADHD or something along those veins, or we get the first guest.
I would like to actually bring a guest onto
Yes.
the next one. So
Cool.
I have taken the liberty to ask Person EXE if he's available
Nice.
for next
Brilliant.
Sunday's podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are not 100% sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure of what kind of conversation we could potentially have with Person EXE.
Yeah.
He is definitely one of the more bigger variety streamers that
Absolutely.
has the biggest skills on finding the weirdest most
games.
wackiest, craziest games ever.
Yeah.
He is anything but consistent when it comes to the games that he plays, unlike Tom and I.
Mhm.
So I think it would be great to find out how he finds these kinds of games and just like his experiences. He is also a South African streamer, and he is a person of color South African streamer, which means there is a lot of like conversations that we can have with him about his experiences as a streamer, and just like you get to know him a little bit more.
And maybe we can learn a thing or two.
If anyone, if anyone has anything they would like to ask Person EXE, and we will definitely drop his Twitch link below. If there is any questions you'd like to ask us to ask him during next podcast or next stream, definitely let us know. You can go check him out beforehand. You can see what he's about. And yeah, that's exciting. I think that's pretty exciting. And
I am really interested.
Yeah, we'll definitely be in the same place on Sunday.
Yeah.
And for our YouTube people out there, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know how you think we can improve. And yeah, that's us.
Yeah, maybe don't tell us that we're too old, because I mean, we're talking about.
Don't tell Tom he's too old.
Yeah, because talking about PS1 and I mean, I could drop in that I used to use Windows 95. It's like whoa, that kind of thing. Yeah, just something. So okay, we've had a chat from Piston saying apparently I am old. So okay, thanks Piston for that. Well done. Good timing, Piston. Hi.
Horrible timing, Piston.
Oh, dear.
We spoke about you multiple times. You missed it.
Yes, yeah, Piston. Yeah, we've had a name drop here and there.
Watch our YouTube video.
Yeah, Piston, if you also want to come on the podcast, let us know, man. We need to arrange a time that's suitable for you on a Sunday, of course, and we'll see what we can do there. See if you want to have a quick chat with us. But yeah, no, in the YouTube comments, just tell us what you think, and in our first foray, well, my very, very first foray into podcasting, which is like crazy to me, totally new. I'm like, whoa, jazz hands once again. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was trying to end stream.
Okay, no worries. All right, so yes, same time, same place, Sunday, possibly more than likely with Person.exe. So
definitely with Person EXE.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because I'm going to learn a lot. So yeah, we are going to end it there, and yeah, so yeah, I think that the first outing has been very, very good.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. Like that was pretty dope.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay.
So it's a goodbye from me, ThomaHawk UK, and it's also goodbye from Ducki.
Ducki Blue.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.
Did you just say I wear?
So, no.
Oh.
No.
I thought you said I wear, and I was just like, where the fuck did you hear that?
No. I said that way, because I'm pointing to you on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Because, Tom, I don't know if you even know what I wear means, but okay.
No, I don't. No.
We'll leave that for next stream. You
Yeah.
can ask person, he'll tell you.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, right, we'll leave it there. Take care, everyone. Like, subscribe,
Cool. Good
comment,
night.
do all that good
Bye.
stuff. Bye-bye.